Pokrovsky direction. Russian reconnaissance drone operators detected the temporary deployment positions of the Ukrainian armed forces. The coordinates of these positions were transmitted to the artillery units, and the operation began. As a result of successive shelling, the positions were destroyed. As a result of the harmonious work of the drone operators and artillery units, the targets were hit as desired. Russian reconnaissance operators revealed the movement of two armored infantry vehicles moving towards the Shevchenko settlement. The front armored vehicle was blown up by the explosion of an anti-tank mine. The rear armored vehicle continued on its way. As the armored vehicle was moving forward, a Russian FPV drone hit the armored vehicle and stopped it. The crew quickly got out of the vehicle and started running. The crew took shelter in a nearby building, but these drones were following them. The drones transmitted the location of the Ukrainian crew to the artillery unit, and the building was destroyed as a result of successive shelling. The Ukrainian armed forces were found to be actively using a basement. The activity in the basement was monitored and recorded by Russian drone operators for some time. Then, instead of attacking the basement with a drone, Russian engineers decided to send a robot loaded with heavy explosives. This small robot, which could move easily over rough terrain, slowly made its way to the basement. Once in the basement, the explosive was detonated and the basement was destroyed.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe and like.
Сава, я парус. К бою. Цель пункт пуска БПЛА. Расчет к бою. Зря тебя не выпустил.
Grad MLRS units of the 44th Army Corps of the Northern Group of Forces destroyed UAV launch points and positions of the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kharkov direction of the special operation, creating a corridor for Russian assault troops. This was reported to TASS by the Russian Defense Ministry. The BM-21 Grad is a 122mm caliber multi-barrel rocket launcher system, MLRS, developed by the Soviet Union. It entered service in 1963 and is currently used by many countries.
Сава, я парус. 20 РС. Огонь открыть.
It has a capacity of 40 rockets. It has an average range of 20 to 45 kilometers depending on the rocket type.
Сава, я парус. Прими цель. Живая сила противника и огневые средства. Прицел.
Wars in which the BM-21 Grad has been used: Vietnam War, Afghanistan War, 1979 to 1989, Chechen Wars, Russia-Ukraine War. In the meantime, you can use YouTube Super Thank You to support us and our content. We need it to continue with our videos. In an open field in Chasiv Yar, a Russian drone was waiting for an attack. While it was waiting, a vehicle of the Ukrainian armed forces passed by. The attack drone activated and flew directly at the vehicle. In the same direction, the movement of personnel taking shelter in a basement was detected. Then a fiber optic drone arrived in the basement and destroyed the basement. After the basement was hit, the personnel in the basement took shelter in another house. This time, another Russian drone attacked the house they were hiding in. Part of the house was destroyed after the attack. The movement of a group of infantrymen from the 425th Regiment of the Ukrainian Armed Forces was detected. The Russian UAV unit tracked and recorded the movement for a while. Then their movement stopped after a while, and they were stationed in a house. Now the Russian attack drones could act, and they did. In the Dnepropetrovsk region, Russian VT-40 drones hit a pickup truck used by Ukrainian Armed Forces personnel to transport various equipment or supplies. Near Novo-Alexandrovka, the movement of the American-made M-113 armored personnel carrier was detected. Then, the fiber-optic drone Prince Vandal of Novgorod went into action and shot down the M-113 as it was driving alone on the road. Engineers of the central units of the Strategic Defense Forces of the Russian Armed Forces, clearing the roads leading to the liberated settlements in the Krasnoarmeyskoye direction, from mine soldiers of the engineering unit of the Central Troops, continue to clear from mines sections of roads and terrain, leading to liberated settlements in the Krasnoarmeyskoye direction of the Northern Military District. With the help of the IMR-2 engineering demining machine, specialists are removing debris and blockages from destroyed Ukrainian armed forces equipment. The column rails must be cleared in several shifts using a bulldozer blade and a grapple manipulator. Thanks to the courage and professionalism of engineers, Russian troops are able to move quickly and safely in the SSO zone, perform combat missions, and provide assistance to the civilian population. Based on the T-72 tank, the IMR-2 is equipped with crane and bulldozer equipment and a remote demining system, creating convoy routes through difficult terrain and passages through minefields, enabling troops to advance. Demining in the Kursk region will continue for a long time. The mine danger in the southern border areas will probably continue even after the cessation of hostilities, given that the enemy has been laying mines there for 7 months in addition to our minefields. Footage of the operations carried out by the reconnaissance units of the South Group in Donbass. A BMP-2 armored infantry fighting vehicle lost its mobility as a result of the explosion of a mine planted by the Russians. A Russian attack drone approached the armored vehicle abandoned by its crew, and as a result of an accurate hit, the armored vehicle was destroyed with a powerful explosion. The movement of a T-72 tank traveling in the same direction was detected. Without hesitation, the Russian attack drone flew directly over the tank. Kursk region. The 137th Regiment of Ryazan's Tula Airborne Division is striking armored vehicles and bunkers of the Ukrainian armed forces in the Sudzhansky district of the Kursk region. Here is the moment the armored vehicle was hit by the FPV drone.
По готовности 1 снаряд, огонь.
Да, принцип. Заезжай. Выстрел!
Ussuri paratrooper artillery disrupted the AFU rotation in the border areas of the Kursk region.
Выстрел!
Russian artillery units use thermal imaging, unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and modern targeting systems to effectively hit enemy positions during night attacks. Grad MLRS of the 58th All-Combat Army of the Dnipro Power Group hit a Ukrainian armed forces stronghold in the Zaporizhzhia region.
Одиннадцать, 46-11.
The personnel who entered the house to hide from the Russian drone managed to close the door in the last seconds. Had they been a few seconds later, the situation would have been different. 3 servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine contacted with a request to surrender using a chat boat. After passing through the exit point, the soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine came to the Russian soldiers who welcomed them safely.
Лечь на землю! Быстро лечь на землю!
Так, пошли, остальные здесь остаются.
Пойдем.
In the Shakhtarsk direction, operators of attack UAVs of the 14th Independent Guards Brigade of the Vostok Special Forces Group are striking the fortified strongholds of the armed forces of Ukraine. The personnel are relocated with each attack, but the Russian attack drones do not stop attacking. Wherever they go, drone after drone strikes their hiding places. Russian drone operators detected the position of an American M-101 105mm towed howitzer. The drone operator slowly approached the position and, after aiming, struck the howitzer with a hard blow. A mortar position was also detected in the same direction. Apparently, the mortar's crew realized the drone was coming and quickly moved away. Because the personnel are not visible in the video, the drone hit the mortar hard and it was destroyed. An antenna of Ukrainian soldiers was also spotted in the same wooded area and was destroyed by the drone. Airborne assault teams carry out drone strikes against soldiers hiding in the basement of the Basovka settlement in the Kursk region. Fighting continues in the Kursk region. The positions of the Ukrainian armed forces in the border area of Sumy region are being shelled. Signal amplifiers used by the infantry in the basement were also hit. Krasno-Kamensk direction. The armored vehicle camouflaged in the trees did not escape the Russian artillery attack. As a result of a heavy shell hitting the vehicle, it was destroyed with a single hit. Immediately after the destruction of the armored vehicle, a camouflage tank was found close to the armored vehicle. The drone operator slowly approached the tank and struck it hard, destroying it. Kharkiv direction. FPV scan of the antagonist group hits an American Humvee. The highway to Kostiantynivka, where the Ukrainian armed forces are receiving supplies in Chasiv Yar, is under fire control of Russian artillery. Temporary deployments, antennas, equipment on buildings are being hit. On one of the front lines, infantry hideouts, temporary deployments, and equipment were destroyed. Temporary deployment means the concentration and activity of military units at a strategic point for a certain period of time. These points are chosen depending on the course of the war and tactical requirements. Pre-operational preparation. The assembly and organization of troops before a large-scale offensive or defensive operation. Rest and resupply. The post-battle resting of troops and the replenishment of ammunition and fuel. FPV drones are a huge threat to soldiers on the front line because you don't know when and where the drone will come from. It can show up at any moment and you may not understand anything. Russian soldiers dodged a Ukrainian attack drone at the last second. Ukrainian armed forces soldiers under fire from Russian artillery in a forest in Kharkiv region.
375.
Images of Ukrainian armed forces soldiers.
Снимаемся, блядь!
N301.